Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsirin Namshir. On News Mongolia today, the Speaker of Parliament of Mongolia welcomes the Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Korea. The Minister of Foreign Affairs attends the funeral of His Holiness Pope Francis. Tika opens 2 child development rooms at Ulaanbaatar School number 29. For the news, stay tuned. At the invitation of Chairman of the State Great Hall of Mongolia, Daisugin Amarbaisalang, the Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Korea, Woo Won-shik, is paying an official visit to Mongolia from April 26th through 30th. On April 28th, the 2 leaders held a special ceremony at Ulaanbaatar Square to mark the 35th anniversary of diplomatic relations. The visit also included a meeting with President Hurulsuk, focusing on strengthening the strategic partnership between Mongolia and South Korea. On April 28th, the chairman of the State Great Hall of Mongolia, Daisugin Amarbaisalang, and his wife, Dashkugin Byamsurung, welcomed the Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Korea, Woo Won-shik, and his wife, Shin Kyung-hee, at Ulaanbaatar Square. They paid tribute to the statue of the great Emperor Genghis Khan before proceeding to the ceremonial hall of the State Palace, where Speaker Woo signed the Book of Honored Guests. Following the formal welcome, a meeting took place between Speaker Amarbaisalang and Speaker Woo, focusing on strengthening bilateral ties between Mongolia and South Korea. In the afternoon, Speaker Woo continued his official engagements by paying a courtesy call to the President of Mongolia, Okhnagin Hurulsuk. President Hurulsuk expressed his firm belief that the official visit, held in commemoration of the 35th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the 2 countries, would play a key role in strengthening and expanding the strategic partnership between Mongolia and South Korea. The President also highlighted the significant growth in relations and cooperation across a wide range of sectors, from trade and the economy to culture and education, underscoring the importance of the shared democratic values that underpin the partnership. He highlighted that the strong friendship between the people of Mongolia and South Korea had flourished over the years. Speaker Woo emphasized the importance of strengthening the legal foundations of Mongolia-South Korean relations, noting that the interparliamentary cooperation has continued to grow. He also reaffirmed South Korea's commitment to advancing economic cooperation with Mongolia, stressing the importance of collaboration in international and regional forums. The meeting highlighted the shared interest in enhancing ties and expanding mutually beneficial bilateral cooperation. The funeral and procession ceremony of His Holiness Pope Francis, the late head of the Holy See, took place at St. Peter's Square in the Vatican, with dignitaries from around 150 countries attending to bid their final farewell. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, Batsisk Batmuch, represented the government of Mongolia at the ceremony to pay respects. In 2023, Pope Francis made a historic state visit to Mongolia, marking a significant milestone in the relationship between Mongolia and the Holy See. He praised the Mongolian people for their commitment to religious freedom and their contributions to global peace.
During his visit to Mongolia, Pope Francis thoroughly studied Mongolia's religion, culture, and history. He publicly declared that the Mongolian people, descendants of a great empire that once ruled the world, are a remarkable nation with an extraordinary history. He described the Mongolian people as vast and boundless as the blue sky, bringing peace to the world and serving as a symbol of religious freedom. Pope Francis is revered by over 4 billion people worldwide. Through his visit, he significantly promoted Mongolia, showcasing the country's cultural and historical strengths on the global stage. Reflecting on this today at the farewell ceremony, I am reminded of the lasting impact of his visit, which will forever be etched in the history of Mongolian relations with the Holy See. As a Mongolian citizen and a Buddhist, I participated in this ceremony, paying my respects and contributing in my own way, while keeping the memory of his extraordinary visit alive.
Монгол хүмүүсийн Монголын түүх соёлын гайхамшигт.
The Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency has set up 2 fully equipped child development rooms at Ulaanbaatar's General Education School number 29, enhancing the learning environment for over 250 students and improving dormitory facilities for 130 resident children.
Over 250 children are currently enrolled at Ulaanbaatar's General Education School number 29, and the school's dormitory houses around 130 students. The school's students now benefit from classrooms and educational resources that meet international standards. To ensure equal access to education and development opportunities for every child, TICA has established 2 fully equipped child development rooms at the school. Children are not required to wait until September 1st to enroll. They can submit their applications, undergo a health examination, and move into the dormitory at any time during the academic year, whether midterm or on any other day. Boys are housed in the boys' dormitory and the girls in the girls' dormitory with an open and accessible process. Previously, our children lacked sufficient space to spend their free time. Through the support of the TICA project, we now have fully equipped child development rooms in the boys' and girls' dormitories. Today, we are officially opening these new facilities.
TICA is currently implementing numerous projects and programs across more than 170 countries through 63 representative offices. We place especial importance on developing projects and programs aimed at children, particularly those with special needs. As digital technology rapidly advances, it's crucial to create opportunities for children to develop physically and mentally without becoming overly dependent on screens. This was the focus behind establishing these child development rooms. We continue to prioritize projects that support children's right to learn, grow, and flourish.
TICA has expanded cooperation across multiple sectors and implemented over 900 humanitarian aid projects and programs globally. Of this, around 220 have been focused specifically on education. Officials report that such projects have significantly contributed to ensuring children's access to quality education, fostering good values and development from an early age.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs. The director of the Chingishang National Museum of Mongolia, Sempeltonduing Cholong, met with the general director of the Moscow Kremlin Museums, Yelena Yurievna Gagarina, to discuss collaboration between the 2 institutions. The 2 sites exchanged catalogs featuring their most significant artifacts and academic publications and discussed conducting joint research focused on diplomatic relations and royal gift exchange between the 2 countries. Historical records show that Russian monarchs dispatched envoys through Mongolian territories to connect with the East 44 times, from the reign of Tsar Michael Fedorovich to Peter the Great. The Mongol Khans also sent envoys the same number of times to establish relations. The Moscow Kremlin Museums, originally founded as the Armory Chamber by order of Alexander I in 1804, now consists of 10 museums, including the Armory Chamber, the Diamond Fund, the Dormition Cathedral, the Archangel Cathedral, and the Annunciation Cathedral. Recognized as one of the most visited museums in the world, the Kremlin Museums welcomed 3.2 million visitors in 2019. Home to more than 160,000 historical and cultural artifacts, the Kremlin Museum exhibits over 9,000 artifacts, including royal gifts, garments, jewelry, tiaras, swords, carriages, weapons, saddles, and equestrian tools. The museum preserves personal belongings once used by Russian monarchs. Yelena Yurievna Gagarina, who is an art historian and the eldest daughter of the world's first astronaut, Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin, has been the director of the Kremlin Museums since 2001. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. On Monday, Palestinian UN envoy Riyad Mansour called for an immediate end to the war in Gaza and the lifting of the Israeli blockade. His remarks came as hearings opened at the International Court of Justice following a request from the UN General Assembly for an advisory opinion on Israel's legal responsibilities regarding the operations of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees.
Speaking to reporters, Mansour emphasized that Palestinians were seeking justice through the court's opinion. He stressed the urgent need for humanitarian aid to reach the people of Gaza at a necessary scale, led by United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, which he described as the brilliant, most beautiful success story of multilateralism under the United Nations.
It cuts our heart apart when we see this massive number of our children and women being slaughtered in this genocidal war. So we come here in order to see a position or advisory opinion by the ICJ to allow humanitarian assistance to reach our people at the scale that they need, led by UNRWA, which is the brilliant, most beautiful success story of multilateralism on the United Nations.
The hearings opened amid warnings that Gaza's humanitarian aid system is nearing collapse. Since March 2nd, Israel has blocked the entry of food, fuel, medicine, and other essential supplies into the enclave, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis.
We will accept, and I declare that in advance, of whatever the ICJ will decide on this issue once they start deliberating as South Africa requested. But in the meantime, stop killing the Palestinian people. Stop starving the Palestinian people. Allow them to continue to live. Allow them to clean the rubbles and to have temporary housing so that we can rebuild our country, our Gaza, and to build our lives where our children can live in the places where they're born. And we will be as patient as it can be to see what the ICJ will decide. It is the highest judicial court under the sun. And once they decide what it is, we accept it.
Israel resumed its bombardments of Gaza on March 18th, breaking a ceasefire and seized large parts of the territory, citing efforts to pressure Hamas to release more hostages. Despite intensified military operations, efforts to broker a new ceasefire remain deadlocked. Meanwhile, the World Food Programme announced last week that its food stocks in Gaza have been depleted, cutting off a critical lifeline for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians struggling to feed their children.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.